JD Vance has a unique ability to always say and do the wrong thing, no matter what, and that has been on clear display with the 18,000 vacations that he has taken since becoming vice president. Vance has raised water levels in Ohio rivers rather than do different activities, spent tens of thousands of dollars a week of taxpayer money for the best chateaus, and his latest screw-up, his latest humiliation was so bad he had to run away from the press. We're going to get into it all and how it makes Vance look as idiotic as we know he is. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we can get into this latest Vance humiliation that was caught on camera, I want to start with what Pete Buttigieg most recently had to say about the hypocrisy of JD Vance.
You played JD Vance in debate prep with Tim Wells. What are your impressions of him and his seemingly inevitable candidacy in 2028?
Well, I think he's very intelligent. I think he's very smooth. I think he's very capable. That's why we definitely shouldn't. I know there's a temptation to make fun of him, but you know, I can do it with the best of them sometimes when you see how he conducts himself out there. But let's be clear, we're talking about a very smart person, not a very principled person. It didn't take him many years to go from comparing Trump to Hitler, which he did, to saying that he ought to be the leader of the free world. This is somebody who made his name talking about being from the industrial Midwest and kind of explaining the industrial Midwest to coastal elites. I know a little bit about what that's like. And then became wealthy, went to Silicon Valley, kind of ran with a lot of people that we would consider to have kind of centrist or even center-left values, and then saw the writing on the wall and found this path to power. When you have somebody who's that intelligent and that unprincipled in a role like that, I think it's really dangerous, especially because to the extent that he has found religion, has found principles other than just trying to take power, he seems to be getting more and more attached to this kind of blood and soil nationalism that, if that prevails, would make us just another country out there instead of the country that we all know and love.
What Pete says here is so central, not to just understanding Vance more broadly, but his time as vice president. This is a guy who wants to pretend that he's one of us, that he's a regular person, that he's working class, even though JD, in every action he's taken as vice president, and even before then, since writing his book, has been an abandonment, throwing under the bus those people he grew up with. And he just continues to show how much of an elite he is, the same elites he rails against, by spending time with billionaires, vacationing on our dime. He's just completely out of touch. He thinks that by sparking culture wars and attacking marginalized groups, he can win the favor of the very people who got Trump elected, but it just doesn't work for Vance, especially when it's so easy to call out like Newsom did right here before we check out his latest humiliation.
People are scared. People are fearful. You had a United States Senator that was thrown down to the ground in a federal building. Alex Padilla. JD Vance's name is Alex Padilla, not Jose Padilla. That's the Vice President of the United States. It's another museum not so far away from us. Talks about those 53 days.
All right, I think what you're seeing there is the framework for what you're going to hear a lot of heading into the midterms.
Vance does the same thing as Trump, but a lot less effectively, right? Trump is able to get MAGA to buy into his tough guy act. Vance is kind of just annoying. He's not strong. He's just kind of a thorn in your side. He's a pest, is what JD Vance is. He's a pest. He's an aggravation. He's a thing that you just kind of want to flick away. His annoyance stays with you. His attempts to troll are stupid, but they're there. And it only makes it that much more enjoyable then when we get to watch JD Vance crash and burn, which is what he's been doing really nonstop on his constant vacation. I feel like it's been weeks. Vance has been away from the country, and great, but also why? But the latest example of Vance really showing who he actually is, was on the golf course in a brutal humiliation. So obviously JD Vance is probably trying to appeal to his boss or the MAGA crowd, or maybe he just enjoys golf, but this is truly one of the most embarrassing performances I have ever seen. I don't know how many of y'all follow the sport, but this is what is called a 4-putt. JD Vance just not able to tap his ball in on the green because he's not an athlete, he's not cool, he has no game. It's just embarrassing to watch this guy fail at literally everything he does. Just a complete embarrassment from JD Vance. But again, that's who this guy is. And it's why I talk so often about the need for us to center him, to center JD Vance, to talk more about what a humiliation he is, because I feel like he is the real representation of the Republican Party. These weak, ineffective people who want to take a lifestyle and put it on you while not living it themselves. JD Vance wants to rail against the elites, yet he hangs out with them all the time. They're Donald Trump's cabinet. They're Donald Trump's billionaire donors, are the people that JD Vance got to put him in politics. Peter Thiel, that's not an elite. That's just a regular guy. I don't think so. And I talked all about this with Governor Gavin Newsom, how we need to flip the script and make JD Vance's ugly face the face of the Republican Party. But this guy right here, who
And there's this guy
who called JD Vance, who said that your redistricting effort responding to Donald Trump was outrageous. Now, JD Vance to me is the prime example as the heir apparent to the MAGA movement in 2028.
Pay attention to that.
As the guy, we talk a lot in our party right now about rebranding. We need to fix the brand of the Democratic Party. We do. But I think in this moment, we also have to focus on the brand of the Republican Party. Like, these people don't want lower taxes, more freedoms. JD Vance doesn't care about that. JD Vance wants to take his lifestyle and pose it on you and then not live it himself. This guy's a squish. He's weak. He's desperate for power. How do we take that guy and reframe how people view the conservative movement? Not as like, oh, we want lower taxes, but these people don't give a shit about you.
This is not just about Trump. This is about something much more, I think, insidious, much more alarming, because this is about extending this narrative into JD Vance, a 2-term of JD Vance. We should be paying attention. Thank you for bringing up Stephen Miller. Thank you for focusing on JD Vance. We need to pay attention to the folks around Trump and those that are perpetuating, promoting Trumpism, and sometimes, to your point, running circles around Trump in many respects. And there's Voight as well, and OMB, and everything they're doing, and Heritage, not just the Project 2025, but the work that they're doing to aid and advance this agenda. But JD Vance is a unique one because he's complete. He's weakness masquerading as strength. There's nothing authentic about this guy. He's been on every side of every issue. He was one of the leading voices of opposition against Donald Trump. And he was pretty effective about it. He figured this guy out early on. And then he completely sold his soul. He put a mask on and his face has grown into it. That face. That's where you went. So that's where I went. And that will be the face of the Republican Party if we don't wake up, if we don't pay attention to this moment, the crisis that we're in this country. And it's just been 6 months. This thing they're barely tuning up. So we can't tune out. This is a real, we talk often in hyperbolic terms. We tend to overstate things too often. This is not overstated.
No, it's not.
This is a real moment, and it requires all of us. The only thing that matters now, it's not Pollyannish, man, but it is. It's like it's old-fashioned. It's we the damn people. Because you start to organize, you start to stand up, you start to share your voice, and you exercise that. They want to take that. They want to suppress that speech. What do you think the National Guard's all about?
It's intimidation. It's intimidation and it's distraction.
So don't get distracted. And by the way, that's another thing. They want to distract us 24/7. Over there, this sort of smash mouth, surround sound, shock and awe. So we've got to stay focused on the essentials. Redistricting, that's why it's so damn important. I mean, that's foundational. That's the architecture to which all of this is built off of. We can't lose sight of that. We can't lose sight of the rule of law. We can't lose sight of this notion of co-equal branches of government. But we also can't lose sight of the office of citizen. That's Brandeis. In a democracy, it's the most important office of citizen. Not passive, not inert, active citizenship. And to see people come out in the No King's Day to see people show up and recognize. I mean, you look to see the growth of your podcast, bro. What you're doing with this YouTube channel, it's like blowing up. I mean, that just gives you hope.
People have been egged on by local officials. Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass, by treating this city as a sanctuary city, have basically said that it is open season on federal law enforcement. They have treated Border Patrol and border enforcement as somehow an illegitimate force instead of what they are, which is the American people's law enforcement trying to enforce the American people's laws. So when Gavin Newsom encourages violence and rioting, when he encourages people to get in the face of our great Border Patrol officers, he is absolutely endangering the lives of federal enforcement. He's absolutely endangering the lives of mothers and daughters and fathers and sons who have been sent here to do a simple thing: enforce the law. And thank God they're willing to do it despite the fact that the local leadership of this community has made it harder on them and has in fact endangered their lives as they go about to do their important work.
Mr. Vice President, we read that you're coming into California, which is important. It's been months now since some of the most devastating wildfires in U.S. history occurred. Tens of thousands of lives completely torn asunder. I hope you have an opportunity to spend some quality time with some of the victims of the families of the Palisades, and also spend some time in Altadena, which is incredibly important. It's also important as well, and I honestly mean this, that you sit down with the President of the United States, who just a couple days ago suggested that these American citizens may not get the support that other citizens get all across this country in terms of disaster relief. I hope we get that back on track. We're counting on you, Mr. Vice President.
Vance is the face of the MAGA movement after Donald Trump. Hopefully there will be an after Donald Trump. I don't know, Vance has already alluded that Trump's going to run for re-election again. I know he's just trying to troll us and get a rise, but clearly Vance's only aspiration is for himself. It's the reason that he's been trying to bring Elon and Trump back together. Of course, that's not going to happen. He just wants to play nice so he can get those billions from Elon for his presidential campaign. He wants the support. That's what Vance is ultimately always after. This is a very self-serving guy who does it just so obviously, painfully obviously. Vance is doing whatever it takes to try to set himself up. And it is annoying. It is bothersome. People do not like him. If we cannot capture the annoyance, the ugh that is JD Vance, and deliver that in our message, not just every day, but like as we get closer to the midterms, this is the face. This is the guy. He is the next up. Let's make sure people realize that. We're certainly going to be talking about it every day on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.